Hello guys, Heavenward Knight here. So today I'm gonna give you a video on why I think the ending of Final Fantasy VII Remake isn't so bad. Because lately I've been watching a lot of videos on the ending and how people felt about it and how they felt about the plot ghost. One second. Let me just change some of these things. So it's not too loud over my voice. Alright. Yeah, so back to what I was saying. So yeah, I've seen people's feelings about the ending and how they perceive the plot ghost. Now, the thing is, one, I kind of see how people could have a problem with the plot ghost because, as the theory goes, they're the fan base trying to get the story from changing. But for story's sakes, it's that they're the planet's will. Now, what I feel like some people are missing about the Harbinger is that and I forgot who said it in a video that mentioned this. I think it was Final Fantasy Peasant, I think is his name. Either way, I'll look it up and put it in the description down below. But anyway, he mentioned that the Harbinger of Fate might actually be a weapon. Because truthfully, we don't know how many weapons are on Gaia. Because if you really think about it, Vincent is technically a weapon because Chaos is a weapon. Omega was the weapon that Chaos stopped. If you've seen Deirdre's to Cerberus, I don't even know if I said the name right, but people who know what I'm talking about know the game. It was a PS2 shooting Final Fantasy VII game about Vincent. And the thing is, when you go back and look at everyone's videos about how they feel about the ending, and if you're someone who's played the other Final Fantasy games and look at how the story flows, it kind of makes sense for the Harbingers to be a weapon and the will of the planet. Because if you noticed, Aerith at the end of the game knew things that she shouldn't have.
Security is looking pretty tight.
Huh. So they know what they're up against.
And
I don't think it's all for...
And the whole thing with Aerith is, it looks like she gained her memories from the future. So she knows she's going to die. So it's actually a battle between the will of the planet, the will of Aerith, and the will of Sephiroth. Now, another thing that happened, and I know a lot of people say this is convoluted, and it is, but I feel like there's a reason for it. The Sephiroth at the end of the game is supposed to be Sephiroth who's from the future. The one from Advent Children. Now, he knows everything that's going to happen already. He knows from the original 7. He knows everything from Advent Children. He knows everything from what happened with Vincent. So he knows about Omega Weapon. And he knows about Deep Ground. So this Sephiroth is actually further ahead of the game, which makes him probably even stronger than what he originally was. And the thing is, Aerith also knows all this stuff. Which is why at the end of the game, I know a lot of people are mad that they seem so strong because they fought a god, and what's the next game gonna be because they're on god level. Not really, because the thing is, when Aerith used her powers to open the gate, what she did was awaken everyone else's powers in that time, in that space, to their peak from Advent Children. That's all she did. The gate's closed now. So they probably lost all those same skills that they had. They just have whatever skills they've gained recently to the end of the game. And also, this Sephiroth, because he knows so much, he might be changing a lot of things for the simple fact of he wants to make Cloud easier to control. Because if you think about it, Cloud is a complex person. What made him the person he is was the things he experienced, like Zack's death. That's erased. If, I know they're saying it's different timelines, but if Zack and him converge, then that's going to erase any bad feelings, because Cloud will be able to get rid of those feelings when he talks with Zack, if they do that. Then, if he doesn't kill Aerith, he has nothing to feel guilty about, nothing to push him to be like, Sephiroth's my enemy. So then Cloud has no true motivation, which makes Cloud easier to control. And Sephiroth, since Advent Children, he noticed that as long as Cloud remembers him and thinks about him, he can always come back. So Cloud is the catalyst for Sephiroth. So Sephiroth is always going to take care of Cloud. Now the thing is, the writers of the game said this a while ago, after Advent Children was made, that Cloud, truthfully, cannot beat Sephiroth. Which is why I think, even if Sephiroth wasn't the one who let Zack live, it might have been Aerith who changed that whole thing so that Zack can live to help Cloud fight Sephiroth. Because truthfully, Cloud needs backup. He cannot beat Sephiroth on his own. And I know Soldier First Class mentioned this in a video the other night with the Nice Guy Prince, which I'm also going to put a link in the bottom of this video in the description below, about that, oh, they're gonna go a route where everyone meets up and they make a sword out of the light stream and kill Sephiroth. I agree with him. I hope they don't do that. I really hope they don't do that. But if they do converge and meet, I think that what they might do, if nobody dies, is that they may make other people die that's not a part of the party. Maybe people they were friends with, like Leslie, new characters they might introduce, which might cause a chain reaction, because now Aerith and Zack have to deal with the deaths of other people because they chose to live, which would create even more of a problem for them living. And that could be a lot to live with. So that could be one way they deal with it. And also, the fight against Sephiroth, what they could do to change it is that they could make it at the end of all the games that you fight Sephiroth, but each party member has to fight a Sephiroth from different timelines to completely erase him this time, so that there's no way they lose, so he doesn't come back, and so the ending of the original 7 is changed. But in doing so, maybe they damaged the life stream for doing what they did, and then Zack and Aerith have to live with that too. Because then that means that the planet is cut off from the rest of the universe, and Omega doesn't need to come and activate the Grand Life Stream and move them to another planet, which was what Omega's purpose was. And also, I think Sephiroth might be killing off the weapons too. That might be part of his plan, so that he has complete control over the planet. And since he knows about Omega now, I think he's going to use Omega and absorb him like he did the Harbinger, who I think is a weapon, which is going to make Sephiroth even more dangerous. So I think that's what's forming in their mind at Square Enix about what they're going to do with this story. And I think it's actually a good idea because, like I said, I feel like 7, at the end of the day, the heroes technically didn't win. They saved the planet, but they didn't win against Sephiroth, because they never completely eliminated him. And also, I think if this is a new timeline, they can introduce things from other games like Crisis Core and Before Crisis and Dirge to Cerberus and the original 7 and even the manga they had. Sorry. So they can fit a lot more than the original game. And it'll actually give us a better story of 7 than having all those compilations. We'll have a definitive story. Though it doesn't seem like it now, but eventually I think that's the ending point. And I'd like to get other people's thoughts on this, and I'll make another video about it. But yeah, that's how I feel, and that's how I feel the ending is setting us up. Because I know everybody's like, oh, you know, those deaths made Cloud and everybody, and it had pivotal moments in the story. Yes, it did, but this is no longer just about Cloud, Sephiroth, and everyone else. This is a story about the entire planet and the actual puppet piece that Cloud is. Because obviously 3 people are using him, if you really think about it. Because Aerith's using him, then you got Sephiroth using him, and you have the planet using him. All because he fits in the timeline for all of them. He's the piece that's always in the middle. And the thing is, this also might explain why Cloud was able to defeat Sephiroth. Technically, Cloud should not have been able to do that. Cloud was actually than most, because he couldn't and he was a normal person with no Genova. He did. He was able to lift Sephiroth by his sword and throw him into the reactor while being impaled. That's not normal strength. That came from somewhere. So I hope they explain that too. But yeah, guys, I think that's all I really wanted to talk about right now. But next video I'll get more into details. People ask questions and post their feelings and give whatever input they want to give. So I'll see you guys later. Alright, Heavenward signing out. And if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, share. And I definitely would like to hear some input from you.